Good afternoon and welcome to Chatty Walks with Angela. My name is Angela. Actually, it's not quite afternoon, it's just before 12, just before midday, and we are looking at Southfields Station. And this time next week it will be rammed here, packed I tell you, as people are queuing for the tennis. Oh yes, it's that time of year when Brits and tennis fans worldwide become tennis experts, and a lot of them will arrive there at Southfields Station. So I'm doing a walk from Southfields Station to, let's call it the Wimbledon Tennis, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. We're on Wimbledon Park Road, and this is your route, okay? This is your route to the Wimbledon Tennis, and I'm just filming it before the tennis starts, okay? Super organised ahead of time for you. I suspect it won't quite look like this very soon. So we are doing Wimbledon sets up for the Wimbledon Tennis, and I'm going to sort of show you the route a little bit, give you some advice about queuing, maybe, if you want some advice on queuing. So here we are at Wimbledon Park Sports. I think they're I think they're taking advantage, making sure we're reminded tennis is a-coming. So first piece of advice, actually, if you're not so sure about buying food at the tennis, or if you're going to be in the queue for a long time, pick yourself up some food. So Sainsbury's locals do sandwiches, and we've just been into Gale's Bakery. Luke is with me.
Hello. Hey.
And we just did the carbs and caffeine route, basically. Carbs and caffeine for me, which was a chocolate croissant and iced latte. We were at that time of year. We have iced latte now.
And I had like an iced chocolate instead of my usual hot chocolate.
Absolutely.
It was very nice, I must say. Very nice indeed. I could definitely recommend it.
Yay. So here we go, on our way. Would you like to hear about tennis? Would you like to hear about tennis? I think you'd like to hear about tennis. We're not just going to do tennis, we'll do a little bit of the history of the Wimbledon Championships, and we're going to go to Wimbledon Village, which is the original Wimbledon. Mentioned in like the Doomsday Book, dates back to the Iron Ages, when there was a fort you could have seen across the lands for your enemies to arrive, presumably. So we will be heading to Wimbledon Village, and then from Wimbledon Village we will be heading down to Wimbledon train station, so the British Rail station, where there's also the tube station that has the little trains up to Southfields. During the tournament you will be able to get your shuttle bus from the station. You can walk up the hill as well, and I did do a walk several years ago walking up the hill. And I'll show you sort of the route in reverse, I suppose. Right, everybody's getting prepared, doing the fences. We were just outside the library, actually. Just checking the map, making sure we're in the right place. As we approach the world's oldest tennis tournament location, and it used to be a croquet club. Did you know that? Oh yes, it used to be a croquet club, did the Wimbledon Tennis. So in the 1870s, at the bottom of the hill in Wimbledon, and that's where we're going to end up on this walk, lands between the railway line and Warple Road. Anybody that knows this area will know Warple Road. The All England Croquet Club, yes, croquet, began to hold its annual championships. But the popularity of croquet at that time was already waning as the new sport of lawn tennis began to spread. Yes, it did. And so them croquet lawns, by the way, can I just show you, access for residents only. So this, as I said, this is prep week. This is preparation week now for Wimbledon in this area. So they had a lawn, the Croquet Club had a lawn, and they gave that over to lawn tennis. But it wasn't enough, was it? No, it wasn't enough. As the popularity of this new sport spread, they had to give out a lot more lawns, and the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club was born. And in July 1877, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club launched its first official lawn tennis championships, making it the oldest championships in the world. Now, by 1922, tennis was so popular that those little grounds down at where we think of Wimbledon locally, the town of Wimbledon, the train station, the shops, Centre Court shopping centre, in that area they could no longer hold all the people, the spectators and so on. So the renamed All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club moved to new grounds close to Wimbledon Park, and that is where we are heading now. Now you can already see they've got signs, okay, helpful signs directing you to the queue. If you have a look there, I'm just going to cross over and I'll show you. Non-ticket holders enter the park for the queue. Let's go and have a look, shall we? So obviously we're the week before Wimbledon. This time next week it will be teeming with tennis enthusiasts. And I'll give you some information about that. If you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome. We sort of do a little bit of history light, chatting about this, that and the other. In this walk I was kind of hoping to give you some guidance as to what to expect if you walk from Southfields to the tennis. There you go. Non-ticket holders enter the park for the queue. So it gives you a feel for what you might expect if you turn up. As I said, you could be walking from Wimbledon train station, many of you will, and take the shuttle bus or walk up the hill. Many of you will come this way, or you might get off at Wimbledon Park. We'll talk about ticketing later. Now it's interesting, there's a description of how King George V opened the new tennis courts. He, the king, gave 3 blows on a gong. The tarpaulins were removed. The first match started and the rain came down. Oh yeah, good old British weather. And that is a feature of Wimbledon. So today it's in the high 20s, okay, high 20s today. We are finding it hot, aren't we?
We are finding it very hot indeed.
Finding it really hot. So we're managing our energy. And of course, one of the joys of hot weather in London is the trains kind of don't always work that well.
Not always, no, not always.
So please allow time for the trains if you're taking public transport. Let me just show you that sign there. We will be crossing back. Ticket holders for the grounds 5 minutes from here, okay? 5 minutes. So if you have tickets, if you went into the ballot and were successful, well done you if you were. Luke is sneezing with hay fever.
I am, yeah.
If you got corporate hospitality or debentures, then you got tickets, okay? So non-ticket holders enter park here for the queue. So let's have a look over and I'll just show you. Obviously no queue at the moment. London Borough of Merton. Can you see the views, by the way? Wimbledon actually has some really good views. You can't quite catch it behind that tree, but you do have some amazing views. And you will be joining the Wimbledon queue here, so picture it a week ahead. It's going to look very, very different. So let's leave here because we're not going that way. And we're going to go back this way, which is the more direct route, okay? So I've just shown you where if you're queuing for tickets on the day, you'll be going that way. If you've got tickets or you just want to have a wander and soak up the atmosphere, you'll be coming this way. So as I was saying, weather, prepare for weather. We'll have everything, guarantee it. It's a little bit later in the year now. tennis, the Wimbledon tennis. It was sort of quite often last week of June, 1st of July, and now they've sort of moved it more first week and second week of July. And part of that is to allow more space between, just going to let these guys go through, between the tennis, the French Open. So here we are, setting up. Activities are setting up here. Okay, all prep. And I love the atmosphere in Wimbledon Village just before the Wimbledon tennis. It's funny actually, if you're there a week or two before, you get all sorts of journalists, tennis-y types, things like that, kind of having tennis-based conversations. It's quite weird. We were there in the Ivy having breakfast quite a few years ago, and it was all full of tennis types. And husband said, "Oh, I recognise that guy. He was an Australian tennis pro years ago," and stuff like that. Anyway, enough of that. So there you go. There's a sign again. Ticket holders, 5 minutes from this point. And as I said, 2 weeks every summer, the Brits and no doubt tennis fans from around the world. There you are, if you have a look through there. So if you're in the queue, you'll be in that direction somewhere next week. We will become armchair tennis experts. Some of us attend. I've never actually been. Husband has. He's done day tickets, but he hasn't come till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So he turns up for the afternoon queue. He's queued for about an hour and got a grounds pass, which I'll tell you about, but just lets you wander around, maybe see some of the smaller court games. And sometimes you get really lucky on those. And the big courts, the show courts as they're known, some tickets for those become available at about 5 in the afternoon. So you might be able to pick one of those up for about £15 or something like that. People who leave basically give their tickets in and they get resold for charity. So yes, you may get tickets through the ballot, in which case you're walking this way, or you might just be wandering around like I do. If you're lucky, you get corporate hospitality. Never had that myself. And then you get to enjoy and indulge in the traditional strawberries and cream, which were served at the first ever tennis championships. Yes, they were. And still to this day. Drink some Pimm's maybe, bring your own. You can bring your own booze, but it's limited, okay? Make sure you don't overdo what you're allowed to bring on the booze. And I think it's in limited areas that you can drink your own booze as well. Alcohol. Wondering what booze I'm talking about. As I said, comfortable shoes, really comfortable shoes, okay? Look, if you're on the show courts, you know, centre court, courts 1 and 2, if you want to dress for the occasion, then maybe give that a go. But I really would recommend comfortable shoes, and you know, the whole lot, from sun cream to raincoats, umbrellas, everything really. It's British weather for you. As we approach the main site, if you want some numbers, 18 championship grass courts can be found at the Wimbledon main site, including centre court and number 1 court. There are 14 grass practice courts. And then some more open up during the championship as well, located on the croquet lawns actually. Now, it's actually in use all year round. There's a museum here, Wimbledon Museum, and a coffee shop. I did inquire if we could come and see the museum, which we could go to the museum today if we wanted to. But they did say that the grounds, more or less everything around the grounds is closed at the moment. And that's, you know, obviously preparation time. I keep peeping you through the fence a little bit, see if I can peep you here. So you see all sorts going on now. It could be that's bog standard building work around the park, but I suspect it's to do with preparing for the queue. as we start to approach, yes we do, the actual lawn tennis club. I'm calling it the lawn tennis club for short. It's quite a mouthful to say all the time. You might have noticed the colours. Yeah, so sorry, before I move on to that, yes, in use all year round, but as I said, prep time at the moment, so I decided not really worth a visit inside if there's nothing I can particularly show you, but I'll certainly be walking past and show you in a sec. Colours, yeah. Dark green and purple. Dark green and purple. Introduced in 1909 following the discovery that the previous club colours of blue, yellow, red and green were almost identical to those of the Royal Marines. Did you hear? I heard tennis rackets and balls just now. Wonder what that was. Yep, I can hear tennis rackets and balls. Well, at least we get the sound that way. Yeah, so they had to change the colours because of the Royal Marines. Nobody actually seems to know why they chose dark green and purple, but it works. Did you hear that? It's probably school kids. They're probably still allowed this week. And talking of school kids, the school kids make the ball boys and girls, so they're local school kids from this area. See if I can cross a moment. There's a very fast cyclist coming. Let's walk a bit further actually. So yes, local school kids train hard to become ball boys and girls. Yeah, I'm just going to point you through there again. So you can see we've got little big marquees setting up. The queue is like nothing on earth, okay? It's a unique experience. In many ways, worth joining the queue just to experience the queue, which is very, very strictly regulated. And I'll get onto that as well. As we approach, here we are, AELTC. All England Lawn Tennis Club. Notice the dropping of the croquet. Don't know if anybody, well, they still got croquet lawns. So here you are. Now it could be that you would come out here, okay? If you queued, maybe this is the exit to the queue. It's possible. And we've got a logistics hub here, and there it is in all its beauty, gate 1. Number 1 court, look at that. I'm sure those of you going will post lovely pictures online. If you do, tag me, okay? Tag me on your Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, whatever. Show me what it's like inside. I see, it's a hive of activity and hubbub right now. The only Grand Slam tournament on grass. The other Grand Slams, of course, being the Australian Open, the French Open, and the US Open. And not only is it the only Grand Slam played on grass, it's also the only Grand Slam that has a nighttime curfew. So basically, once they manage to put a retractable roof to stop causing trouble with our lovely British weather and specifically the rain, the local council said, you're not going to be playing till 3 a.m. or anything. So they have a nighttime curfew until 11 o'clock at night. Play cannot continue beyond 11 o'clock at night. So I think you can probably recognise some of those buildings if you watch the TV coverage and what have you. I certainly recognise a lot of it. I think it's probably a great venue to visit throughout the year.
Yeah, let that one go.
Ah, there's the museum. Aha. I think it's £13 or £15 for an adult. £15, I think, for an adult to visit the museum. Let's see if I can cross over. Right, let's cross. Quick, cars coming, I just noticed. So there you go. So it says it's a 24-minute walk to Wimbledon Station. Taxis to Wimbledon, 9-minute walk. Southfields Station 15, it felt shorter than that. Taxis to Southfields, 6-minute walk. It's highly organised, okay? Everybody that has been involved with coming to the tennis tells me it is highly organised here. So let me just point you over there. So you can see you've got fencing over there. Again, for the queue. A very special experience, the queue. As long as you get tickets at the end, you're going to be quite disappointed if you don't. And then we've got the entrance area here, so you've got tables, all sorts. Nice. And as I said, it's used all through the year. So normal people come and play Tennis Championships information. Yep. Hive of activity, as I said. A few weeks from now, we're all going to be looking forward to the big gentlemen's singles final, ladies singles finals, doubles, mixed doubles, blah blah blah, all that. Oh, and here we have another big gate. Here we go. Oh, it looks very grand, doesn't it? I wish I could go and have a wander about. But I was told, when I asked about the museum, I was told nothing to see around the grounds, nothing to see, all closed off in preparation. And again, giving you all your information there. And I can see marquees and everything over there as well. So all go, all go. As I said, we're in the high 20s today, although the clouds come over now. And please go careful, it does get hot, okay? If you are coming to the tennis, please be aware that we get hot in the UK, London especially. So be prepared for that, but also just be prepared for the rain, and sometimes it can be quite cool. And I don't mean cool in the good way. So we continue to walk around the edge. Yes, we do. Now there's the Wimbledon Club here as well, which is cricket, hockey, tennis, squash and fitness. We won't be going there. Press and photo accreditation. Do you think they'll give me press and photo accreditation as a YouTuber? Should I chance my arm and ask? Nah, too shy. Far too shy. I wonder what you have to do. Have your photo ID ready. Okay. There we go. And then we've got some more pretty stuff. I must admit the floral displays are absolutely lovely. Really beautiful. Oh, look at those flowers. And there it is, Centre Court. Wow. Centre Court of Wimbledon. Oh, and there's the shop. I wanted to go into the shop, but they said that shut as well. Wow, lovely. And that's it. We've been walking past for quite a few minutes now. Got a street cleaner here. You may not know that we're here. Okay, let's take a look up the hill where we've just been, telling you that the road here is closed from the 1st to the 14th of July throughout the day to the evening. And Wimbledon really discourage you from coming in your cars. Take public transport, which is why I was just showing you where to arrive at Southfields. There's also Wimbledon Park Station. If you are going to come by car, you have to pre-book. You have to pre-book your car park. Just so you know. So what else can I tell you about Wimbledon as we walk past the ground? Traditions. I think we all know Wimbledon's got its fair amount of traditions, one of which is the strict all-white dress code for competitors and royal patronage. Can you imagine telling the king, "Oi mate, sorry, you're not meeting our strict dress code." There's car park 6 over here, as I was mentioning the transport policy here. And you don't see as much advertising at Wimbledon either. Keep it low. You've sort of got some from the sort of official suppliers like Schlesinger and Rolex. Apparently the relationship between Wimbledon and Schlesinger is the world's longest running sporting sponsorship, providing balls for the tournament since 1902. So that's long running, isn't it? That's a long, long old connection. Oh, I'll point you in this bit now. The Wimbledon connection. Oh, I can see seats at the back of a court there. That's number 2 court. Okay, that's number 2 court that you're looking at there from the outside. And you can see some views on the inside. I'm excited, even though I've never actually been myself, perhaps one year. I think the only way I can see myself doing it is the grounds pass and turn up as husband did at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and hopefully only queue for an hour and get in. I have friends that do it. They do it every single year. Basically finish work early and try and get an afternoon slot. Towards the end of the tournament you can't get those sorts of tickets, but certainly the first week and the first half of the second week, and you can do that type of thing. So facts, as we walk past gate 7A now. Do you want some facts? You want some Wimbledon facts? Go on, I'll give you some Wimbledon facts. Strawberries and cream. So I've already mentioned strawberries and cream, haven't I? Nearly 200,000 portions of strawberries and cream are served during the 2 weeks of the tournament. 200,000. Now last year's prices, a punnet of 10 strawberries and cream, £2.50, okay, so 10 strawberries and some cream on them, £2.50. Last year, if you wanted a glass of Pimm's, you would have been paying £8.50. And I think I saw somewhere that the beers were about £6, something like that. But as I said, coming from Southfields or from Wimbledon, you can pick up meal deals. Do I sound really cheap? Pick up a meal deal when you go to Wimbledon if you want to. Maybe that's just me. Sorry. Or we went into Gales, pick up a croissant and a nice coffee, things like that. Up to you. But there are loads of places to eat and drink once you get inside. Longest match. Now, I saw it, not all of it, but I did watch a fair bit of the longest match ever at Wimbledon between US player John Isner, as I seem to remember it was said, and French player Nicolas Mahut, or Mahut. 11 hours, 5 minutes, played over the course of 3 days. By the way, I don't know if you've been noticing these as we walk along. I wasn't happy when I watched it. It felt a bit wrong, actually. I sort of felt like they were performing circus animals at a certain point. And I'm glad that they changed the rules so that couldn't happen again. It must have been exhausting. I mean, it can't be good for your body, can it? That type of thing, especially for the winner, blimey. Then you've got to go and play again. Wimbledon tennis balls. Nearly 55,000 tennis balls are used over the course of a Wimbledon. Now let me just show you here. Gates 1 to 13, gates 1 to 9, the queue. I think I've given you ample views towards where the queue would be. Let's give you a view back again, where we just come from. Just have a look, is there anything here to see? It's, oh, if you look up here, okay. It's got a little oops, sorry, my phone's bent. Sorry. I've got a mic on the side. There we go. Gentlemen's singles champion Carlos Alcaraz, who's very, very, very up and coming for sure. Rosewater Pavillion. Oh look, and there's this sort of bike thing there. That's fantastic. Rosewater Pavillion. So I hope you're getting a good outside view. That's the route we've just walked, all the way along the side. Oh, I hope you found that helpful. Luke's actually laughing at me now. Thanks, Luke, with the support. As we walk along Church Road to head to Wimbledon Village. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So shall we continue with facts about Wimbledon? Facts about Wimbledon. Straighten up the phone a little bit. iPhone and gimbal today. Those who know the channel well will know that I've been having loads of trouble with my Osmo Pocket. It's kind of out of action now. So I'm now with an iPhone 13 Pro, a mic and an OM4 gimbal. Still takes a little bit of getting used to. It's a lot heavier in usage than the dinky little Osmo. But hey ho. Right, so where were we? Tennis balls. About 55,000. Replaced every 7 to 9 games. And we've all seen the tennis players, haven't we? Accepting some balls, rejecting others, bouncing them around, all those types of things. Balls in their pockets, take the balls out their pockets. You know what I'm talking about if you watch the tennis. And they're kept in the fridge. Yep, stay tip-top. Kept in a refrigerator. Now those tennis balls used to be white. So the original tennis balls were white. Changed to yellow. Can you guess why? Oh yes, for the television. So it was a lot harder to spot white tennis balls, especially if you have a black and white TV. Would it make a difference? Oh, yellow tennis balls, black and white TV. Hey, so they changed to yellow. As I've mentioned, a bit of a dress code. White, mostly white, almost entirely white. And as you probably are aware, umpires can actually tell players to change if they don't fit the dress code policy. Famously in 2013, Roger Federer in 2013 had to switch his trainers. They had orange soles and they didn't allow them. So we're walking uphill here. As I said, the old sort of Iron Age hill fort was well placed because if you walk around this area, there's quite a lot of up and down hills. It's quite noticeable. Returning to the grass, like one does. As I said, only Grand Slam event on grass. Has to be the right length. Yes, it does. So groundsmen work all year, making sure all 20 grass courts are perfect. And during the tournament, the grass is cut to a height of exactly 8mm. Now, if you're in the UK, every single year we have the same images on the breakfast news. Carol doing the weather. She's always at Wimbledon doing her weather report. We see all the people in the background maintaining the grounds. Now, I'm actually not quite sure. I think I follow Church Road, but you're going to have to bear with me a sec while I just check the map that I don't go along St Mary's Road and I go along Church Road. But I may well be coming back in a sec saying, look, I'm supposed to take St Mary's Road. And oddly enough, there's actually where they have had there's the sign, Angela, there's the sign. Saying, where's the signs? They haven't got signs. Here's the signs. Wimbledon Village is that way, 6 minutes. Let's cross. I see, very adorable, okay? Very adorable up here. And this is sort of what everybody loves Wimbledon Village for. So if you look, there's a sign there that says Wimbledon Tennis, 6 minutes. We were just there, feels like less than 6 minutes. What people don't realise is, as I said, it's very hilly up here. And you do get some absolutely amazing views across London, which you might not expect, might surprise you. And that was one of the original appeals centuries ago. The well-to-do of London wanted a sort of country retreat, and Wimbledon was pretty close. And so they sort of set up posh houses for the well-heeled, the noble people, the parliamentarians, royalties, things like that. They all got places here. big pads in the country or semi-country. Let's continue with some Wimbledon facts, shall we? So I don't think it's been outdone yet. Fastest serve ever, 147 miles per hour, although I've seen it also written as 148 miles per hour. It's important to get those things correct, by Taylor Dent. And I've seen, is it still the case that Venus Williams is the fastest female, 129 miles per hour serve? Fast, whichever way you look at it, fast. Now, this year's total prize money is £50 million. For the singles champions, they will get £2.7 million. Now, I've seen centre court ticket prices of around 250 quoted. Have to be honest with you, I don't know how much that will be the case. It depends how you get them. You should get them through the ballot, for example. But I don't know if there's dodgy systems where people end up paying more. Let me just straighten up slightly. There we go. Now, the queuing has different prices, so I'm just going to show you posh houses. I don't really like to point at people's houses as I'm wandering along, can be a security risk, that type of thing. Let's move on to the boy, girls and boys. About 250 of them in total. As I've said, they're known as BBGs, hired from local schools, undergo intensive training to keep track of all those fast moving, those high speed, as we just said, tennis balls. Now, if I point you in that direction, I think you can see we're kind of at the, almost like the top of a hill, and that's what I mean. You sort of very up and down around here. Some beautiful trees for the time of year and everything. Did you know, if you win Wimbledon, let's say one of us won Wimbledon one year, we don't get to keep our trophy. No, we don't. The trophy actually remains on display at the All England Clubs Museum. And actually the winners go home with a small replica, a small replica of the trophy. I read a story once of Nadal. Now, I can't remember which event he just won, but he just won an event and really wanted to get home to Mallorca. And so I think he booked himself onto an EasyJet flight or something. And there was no space in the overhead locker for his trophy. Or he couldn't reach up or something like that. No, he must have been able to reach up, he's quite tall. So yes, he had trouble with his trophy in the overhead lockers on a cheap flight back to Mallorca. I love that about Nadal. Everybody else still enjoying the limelight. He's on his way home. I read his biography. I find sports biographies very, very interesting. It's hard to apply. Not all the lessons can be applied from sports biography to everyday life. There's a lot of sports biography is about singular intention and focus and training, and you can do a lot of that in everyday life and still struggle. Anyway, I digress. First televised event by the BBC was on 21st of June 1937. Oh, and tennis is a British invention. It was invented in the UK by Walter Clapton Wingfield and originally called spheristike in Greek. Greek word meaning the art of playing ball. If you look at it, you can see sphere. Sphere is what we now say is sphere, presumably, so spheristike. As we start to arrive in Wimbledon Village, the old medieval spot that, as I said, became very gentrified, sort of 16th, 17th centuries, very desirable. These look like old almshouses. I'm not sure if they are. They kind of look like it though. As I said, I have done a walk in the opposite direction. So if you want to see what it's like walking from Wimbledon Station up through here, you will literally see the same walk in reverse. cute houses, the cute squares and houses of Wimbledon Village. I love Wimbledon Village. Not that far from us, where we live in Surbiton. Nice place to visit, nice pubs, things like that. So let's talk about this year's Wimbledon. 1st of July, Monday the 1st of July to Sunday the 14th of July. 675 tennis matches will be played on 19 courts over the 2-week period. And here in Wimbledon Village it will be busy. It will be busy. As you see, it's very quaint, it's boutiques, it's coffee shops. Oh, look at that, walnut tree cottages, how cute is that? Adorable walnut tree cottages like those. Very pretty. Got an art gallery here. If you're coming and going to join the queue, the ground's open from 10 a.m. each day. Matches start on the outside courts at 11 a.m. and at 1 p.m. on number 1 court and 1:30 on centre court. 2 p.m. during finals weekend. Okay. What have we got here? We got Le Creuset. Of course we have Le Creuset. We are in Wimbledon. Shoes. So we're at the heart of Wimbledon Village here. Just point you where we were. So we just came from that direction. If you're walking up the hill from Wimbledon, you'll be walking along there to make your way to the championships. Obviously, if you're on the shuttle bus, it will take you directly there rather than you have to find your way on foot. There are taxis as well. As I've said, you can apply for tickets in the public ballot. But it's highly, highly oversubscribed. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you around the village a little bit. Just wave this band through as I'm sort of faffing around a little bit here. Right, let me just walk through the village and I'll show you some bits and pieces. Oh, hello, sweetheart. Love whippets. I'll tell you about the dog and fox as well. And you can sort of time check our walk on the various clocks that we've seen. Wimbledon Village Improvement Scheme 1964. Okay. Didn't know about that. Just do a little circuit here. So that's the ivy over there. And I have been in there, and as I said, there are quite a lot of tennis-y types. Like a week or two before Wimbledon last time. Now that will head us straight down the hill to Wimbledon. As I said, the historic Dog and Fox pub. It's an old coaching inn. Now let me just walk over here and I'm going to walk you back through in a sec, okay? As I said, the whole area around here is now sort of prepping, getting ready. This area was originally called it's quite hard to say, Wimbledon in 967. It means Windman's Hill, and the final element of the name is the Celtic dun, which means hill. And then it sort of became Wimbledon, and I've seen Wimbledon written down in places. And then 19th century we kind of became Wimbledon. So as I said, this is the old heart of Wimbledon where they would have had the hill fort on the common. And sort of there was a bit of property ping pong here for a while between the church. Explains ringing. So there's a bit of property ping pong up here between the church and royalty. Henry VIII owned probably the manor up here. Planes overhead. People always forget in this area there's always a lot of planes overhead. We're on the flight routes into Heathrow. So Henry VIII actually briefly gave ownership of Wimbledon to Thomas Cromwell, Earl of Essex. And then they executed him in 1540, and the land went back to Henry VIII, and he gave it to his last wife and widow Catherine Parr. And when she died in 1548, it all went back to the monarch again. So as I said, property ping pong back and forth between various people. We got some more of these very cute little cottages here. And I think that's the sort of enduring appeal. As I said, noblemen, parliamentarians, royalty, this was kind of their place in the country away from the city. And it's really retained that charm. You know, you don't walk very far in that direction, you'll find yourself at the Common. And there's a big golf course here as well, where you can go and have some tea and cakes and things like that. So it's just generally a very lovely environment. Right, I'm going to cross you back again. We'll head back towards the pub and down the hill for the last bit of the walk. Right, we just crossed over. It was a bit messy, vans, things like that. I was just going to quote Hannah More, okay, who in 1790, playwright, said, "I did not think there could have been so beautiful a place within 7 miles of London. The park," talking about Wimbledon Park, right next to the tennis, "is as un-Londonish as if it were 100 miles out." And as I said, you don't have to go far here to sort of get that feel at all. As I said, this combination of town and country is still sort of one of its most defining features. As we approach the Dog and Fox pub, I would point out, as I said, that it's an old coaching inn. By the way, highwaymen, oh yeah, highwaymen galore used to be around here because it's on the old Portsmouth stagecoach route, which also cuts through Kingston. We got some old coaching places there as well. So Dog and Fox, and at the back of the Dog and Fox are reputedly the oldest recorded riding stables in England. Haven't been in. Wouldn't mind actually. It's quite a good, a wide variety of choices here. You've got loads of places you could actually go and eat and drink around here. There you are, just warning you again, Church Road is closed if you're driving 1st to the 14th of July. As I said, get it organised. You have to get your parking in advance if you're planning on driving to the tennis. So I'll just show you along there where we were. So as I said, that's where you would walk along to the tennis. And we're going to now go down the hill to Wimbledon. As I said, we're doing the walk in reverse. Here's the outside of the pub. Sometimes if you walk through here, I think on my other video actually through here, and there's some people on their horses. Right, I'm going to see if I can get across to the middle. Sort of a bit like when it's the Chelsea Flower Show in Chelsea. You start to get flowers all over the Chelsea shops. Here you get like little tennis ball replicas over the shops here. Right, here we go. And down the hill we head. Down the hill back to Wimbledon Station. As I do it all in reverse. Kitchen, table, garden, bar, there we go. Just reminding us of the tennis. There's some more. It's everywhere now. While we're here, I can give you some queuing information, just to return to the queue. You're bored of hearing about queuing. It's a very British event, is there? It's Wimbledon. Got Megans with all their flowers. Let me see if I can dig you out some queuing information. There's quite a few people giving you the information that you might need if you want to queue. I can name some of those websites for you. Let me see if I can find them for you. Okay, Stoked to Travel. Okay, so Stoked to Travel has a beginner's guide to the queue, as does On the Loose, as in On the Loose, L-U-C-E. And I've had a look at their guidance, and I've sort of summarised some of their information just to sort of pass it on to you about the queue. So as I've shown you, you come into Southfields Station, or where I'm going to now, which is down the hill to Wimbledon. Shuttle buses, taxis, walking, all that. So this is sort of the main roundabout at the top of the hill. People divide, sort of, I don't know if it's a local thing to divide Wimbledon between Wimbledon Village and Wimbledon itself. I certainly do, but you know, it's because we live down the road in Surbiton. So we're sort of going to exit Wimbledon Village in a mo and head down the hill to Wimbledon itself. Let's just cross. I'm just going to show you backwards to where we were. And when you come here during Wimbledon week, there's loads of people all walking through. There's buses that come up the hill. The number 57, is that a 57? Can't see from the back, comes up the hill. So you can always take the bus. Just get your City Mapper app, Google Maps, all those sorts of things. That clock is telling the incorrect time up there. And then here we have the working men of Wimbledon. Public good of a water fountain. By the way, we've got lots of sun cream on today. We've got factor 30 because it's so hot. so we decided we're going to be safe and sensible today. So Joseph Toynbee's fountain, ear surgeon to Queen Victoria, and campaigner for the people of Wimbledon. And Victorian London, as I'm sure you know, was famous for its unsanitary drinking water and the famous outbreaks of cholera. So public drinking fountains became the work of philanthropists around there. Let's head back down the hill. If you want to get tickets on the day, so it's the only major tournament in the world that allows you to get tickets on the day for major matches, but you have to be very dedicated to the cause. There are 500 tickets available, not towards the end, by the way, okay? So the first sort of 8-10 days, something like that. And you can't get the day tickets online. You know, you go into the ballot, or you get corporate hospitality, or you get debenture-based tickets. If you don't get any of those, then queuing on the day is your way. And 500 tickets for the top court, so these are called the show courts. And that will be court number 1, court number 2, and centre court. So 500 tickets are available on the day. If you want to join the queue, you've got to be here really, really early up at Southfields down to Wimbledon Park. 5 a.m, okay, or camp overnight. Them's the rules. You won't probably get your ticket for the top matches otherwise from queuing in the morning. There's a dedicated camping area, camping support, all those sorts of things. There's no public transport, okay, at 5 in the morning, so you have to find your way here yourself. Maybe stay somewhere close enough that you could walk, something like that. And I don't know if you can see, you've got the view down the hill again. That's what I mean. Wimbledon is up high, which people don't often realise. So if you want those top tickets, you've got to be here very, very early. And they're known as the show court tickets. On the website, £65 for number 1 court at the back, and number 2 and 3 courts £50. Okay, so you're sort of 50 or 65 for your top court tickets. And then if you want just the roaming pass, as I'm calling it now, so you just get in and you walk about and you can sort of try and go into court number 5 or court number 18 or something like that, then that's £30 this year. Okay, so you pay £30 this year. It is only one ticket per person. You cannot turn up and say, oh, I'm here to get a ticket for my friend or my friends. They won't give it to you. So each person that wants a ticket must be there in person. And you'll be given your queuing ticket. It's a queuing ticket, okay? The atmosphere is great. My husband loved it. He loved being in the queue at Wimbledon, and he doesn't like queuing at all. Doesn't really get queuing. But it does have its own etiquette. You get your queue card to mark your place. You need to go to the loo. You need to get some food and drink. Water refill stations. You can leave the queue because you have your special ticket saying where you are in the line. As I said, the grounds passes, you can come in the afternoon and get those, and if you're lucky, tickets that have been returned for centre court, that type of thing, you might be able to get hold of one of those for £15 and get in on a really good match. So lucky people definitely get that. Not everybody. Don't rely on it. So yes, dated, numbered and double checked queuing cards is how the queue works. And as I said, afternoon might work out as well. As I said, dress for comfort, British weather and all. Yeah. It's hot today, but the clouds have come over now, so it just means it's humid. And I really wouldn't be here without trainers on. I guess if you're going to be somewhere posh, maybe pack some, posh shoes or something like that. Make yourself feel, that you've got something nice you can put on your feet. Though if you're anything like me, if you've been walking around for a few hours, your feet are all swollen up and they will not fit into nice shoes at all. And now we head down to Wimbledon. So as I said, Wimbledon Village is sort of your original little village up there. And then in 1838, the London and South Western Railway opened a station to the southeast of the village at the bottom of Wimbledon Hill, which is where we are now walking. And that shifted the focus of the town and its growth away from up there in the hills to where it is now. And it used to be part of Surrey. Okay, until 1965 it was part of Surrey. And then we had all that shifting around of the boundaries, and Wimbledon became part of the London Borough of Merton, part of Greater London. It's a place that, by the way, once the railway lines arrive, how it goes, places grow really fast, and that sort of spread outwards towards Putney, Merton Park, Rains Park. Then they got better transport links even more to Croydon, Tooting, District Line. So now we have the District Line running through Wimbledon that will take you up to Southfields. Okay, so from Wimbledon train station you can go up to Southfields, 2 stops. Wimbledon Park, stop 1, Southfields, stop 2, where we started this walk. Now, Wimbledon did struggle when I arrived and started living in this area. Kingston was really being redeveloped, and that developed a massive shopping centre, and Sutton as well. And Wimbledon kind of struggled in all that, couldn't attract the big stores. So they built the Centre Court shopping centre to attract some of the big stores. And it's definitely improved. And you've got the lovely new Wimbledon Theatre. Love the new Wimbledon Theatre. Been there quite a few times. Most recently I saw Heathers. I've seen Chekhov, was it Uncle Vanya, something like that. And I've also seen Prisoner Cell Block H, the musical kind of thing. They sort of went on tour decades ago. It was fun, really enjoyed that. It's quite, I suppose it's reasonably affluent, Wimbledon in many respects. Majority of the adult population of around 68,200 adults belong to the ABC1 social group. So a bit further up, I suppose. Now Lidl. Lidl used to have their headquarters here until 2022, and then we nabbed them over at my neck of the woods, and they now have their headquarters at Tolworth, right next to Tolworth train station. Right, let's just walk on down through. I'll stop giving you the history. We'll just enjoy it as we walk down towards the station. Hope you're enjoying the walk. As I said, if you're new to the channel, it's a bit of history, bit of this and that, bit of chat. Sometimes I know what I'm doing, sometimes I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But check out other videos, and as I said, especially check out my video walking in the opposite direction. I know we've had some hot spots, haven't we? Chris and Sandra, I know you've recently been over in London, and I know you've been having very hot weather in Canada. I'm off to Cyprus in a few days, exceptionally hot weather there as well in Greece. But, you know, it's England. It'll be grey, rainy and cloudy again relatively soon. Guess we should enjoy it while we can. Although Lukey here is not a fan of the heat, are you?
No, I'm not. But I don't mind the heat overall, but when it makes me so hot that I can't get comfortable, that's when I don't like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we like a bit of air conditioning.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Air conditioning is good.
When we went to Gale's at Southfields, they were well air conditioned in there, weren't they? Yeah.
Not many places in my experience have air conditioning around here.
We appreciated that.
Yeah.
Here's the major department store. By the way, I'm so embarrassed. Is it Eli's or Ely's? Somebody correct me, I don't know. Alright, we've got the Alexandra pub. Been there quite a few times. Just going to walk through here. So we're almost at the train station now. I don't know if you can feel, but it's not that big of a walk. If it's a hot day, it can be a bit tricky. If you don't like the heat, and if you're not that mobile, then you're going to want to take the shuttle bus or a taxi. And then we sort of get to the centre here. Now the trains have been out today, of course they have. So if that's the case, we take the 131 bus back to Kingston and then beg Mr. Chatty Walks with Angela to come pick us up in the car. So there's no direct route back to Surbiton from there unless we get on another bus. See, tennis everywhere, tennis everywhere. Lots of references now all over the town. Busy, busy. Careful, lady, there's cars coming. Yep. Right. Yep, green man. Whew.
Nice.
We're getting quite hot now.
Yeah, we are.
We are getting quite hot, yeah.
Need to cool down.
Need to cool down. Need somewhere else air conditioned, don't we? Anyway, we'll get on a train. Got on a very nice tube train, didn't we, at Wimbledon? And it was completely air conditioned. It was fantastic.
It was nice.
It was really nice.
I enjoyed that.
Okay, here we are at Wimbledon Station. Okay, so you can see you have underground, you have railways, and you have trams. And believe me, in a few days' time, this will be totally set up. Own taxis, you can see the taxis. And as I said, it will be totally set up here. Check out my other video and you will see they sort of divert this whole area over to the championships. And there will be people with little tabards for information, telling you where to go, nicely of course, all those sorts of things. So you will come out of Wimbledon Station there. Okay, I'll just show you. And I'll turn as if I had just left the station, slowly. Okay, there we go. And just in case you haven't spotted, here from Wimbledon, okay. And you will then, as I said, go up the hill, and once you get up to the village, make a right and head towards the All England Championships. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this walk. knocking around Wimbledon in the week before the championships. If you go, really enjoy it, and I hope you found this helpful. And tag me if you post anything on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. I'd love to see it. All right, enjoy. See you next time, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.